What's going on, everyone? It's your man, Rachel Life, back with another great conversation. Welcome to the Herfador Lounge, where we sip what we like, we smoke what we enjoy, and most of all, we fellowship. My guest tonight is known as the Healing Poet. She is on a journey to help others through poetry. She is an author with over 8 books published. She has developed courses, workshops, webinars to guide and to inspire others on their journey through healing. I'm gonna fix that in poetry. Not only is she an amazing poet, she is also a coach, a storyteller, a motivational speaker, and the host of the Healing Poetic podcast. Herfador family, please show some love and welcome Miss Keya McClain, the poet. So how have you been? It's like I hadn't seen you in what, 2 weeks?
Not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks. And we did have a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time out there. Great time out there. So my first question is what I ask everybody. How long have you been smoking cigars?
I started close to 20 years ago. Really accidental. I say accidental because that was not my intent, was to go smoke cigars and enjoy it. Long story short, a girlfriend invited me out, said she met an older gentleman. She invited me and 2 other friends out. She's like, hey, come join us. And so I went. I lost my earbud. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
I can still hear you.
Okay. So I went out and ended up enjoying it. Now, I made the mistake of going in a humidor by myself, like I knew what I was doing. And of course, I picked up a Maduro and damn near choked. And so the guy that my friend was with, he was like, you don't know what you're doing, do you? I said, no. He said, let me take you back in the humidor. And he got a Connecticut for me, and I enjoyed it. And so it was 6 of us. And out of the 6 of us, I was the one that continued smoking. So that's how that started.
So you were the only one that continued?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been writing poetry?
So I've been writing since I was a kid, but openly since about 2007, 2008 is when I first hit a stage.
First hit a stage as in speaking?
Open mic, yeah.
With the snaps and all that at the end?
The snaps, Ray, with the snaps. That's when I made my debut.
When you made your debut with the snaps and everything. So when did you know that poetry was your gift?
I guess once I got off the mic, I had people immediately come to me and let me know that they were moved by what I said and what I talked about. It was the very first piece that I shared was a piece that talked about suicide. Wow. So that particular piece talked about all the thoughts that I had about suicide.
Wow.
From childhood to teenage life to young adult life. And it was a culmination of things. And so I kind of put it in order, all the different thoughts and different ways that I could kill myself. And so this suicide piece was, I guess, emotional for a lot of people. And so I was stopped as I got off the stage and people were like, oh my God, that was amazing. You know, and I saw the emotion that people evoked from that piece. And I was like, okay, I might be on to something here. But my son actually was my encourager. And at that time, he was about 15. He was the one, he actually went into my poetry notebook and was reading it. Wow. And he was like, Mom, this is good. You need to share this with people. And he's like, you're inspiring me and pushing me to share, so you should do it. So here we are.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
your
that
kids can sometimes inspire you.
right. You never know where inspiration comes from. It can come from anywhere, anywhere, and
Yep.
that's amazing that you say that because so many people have dealt with suicide and suicidal thoughts and have no idea of how to put it into words. Have no idea of how to uh, find help. They think that they're alone in thinking those things, you know. And
Yeah.
for you to open up and share that first, I can understand why it touched so many people.
Yeah. I think what I've been able to do overall with my poetry is open up doors for people who don't necessarily speak those things. I'm extremely transparent in the things that I speak about. And so it's almost like I'm opening the door and I'm welcoming people in and I'm saying, hey, you can come and talk to me about it, or you can go and talk to somebody else about it. Or it's okay to feel what you feel.
Right, right,
It's okay because life is hard sometimes and we have a lot of things that we hold in and we don't release those things. And all of those things culminate into these thoughts,
right,
which for me created suicidal thoughts that I had quite often.
right. Wow. So how did you overcome those?
Therapy. I started therapy about 10 years ago and just haven't stopped. There's always something you need to be in therapy for. So,
Yeah,
so
always something.
I'm a huge advocate of mental health, huge advocate. And at the time that I started, it still was kind of taboo that Black folks were like, I don't need a therapist. I don't need to
Yeah,
tell nobody my business.
right, right.
And so for me, it was like, okay, but look, especially people who've known me for a long time, I say, look at where I was and now look at where I am. And
Yeah,
I owe a lot of that to therapy and doing the work, not just therapy, but also doing the work. You can't just go
right.
sit in there, talk, listen, and then leave and don't do anything. You have to use the tools that they give you.
Yeah,
There's coping skills that you learn. You have to take that with you. And so I was able to take those things with me, and I'm dropping pieces of that through my poetry.
yeah. And great poetry, and it does. You're doing work with it. You're not just writing. You're doing work with it, and that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So let's
Thank
talk
you.
about some of this work. Let's start with the Cigar Chronicles. What was the inspiration behind the Cigar Chronicles, the first one?
So I'm going to be extremely candid with you about this. I did not intend on publishing a book about cigars at all. Wasn't my intent. And if I'm honest, most of the things that I've done, it almost is like it was an accident. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm gonna do that. So Cigar Chronicles came out of I was a part of a group on Facebook called
Hmm.
Smoking Hot. And so one of the things I did in the group every Wednesday was I went live. The administrator of the group was like, you should share your poetry. People need to hear what you have to say. And I was like, okay. So I was sharing my healing poetry with the group. And everybody seemed to enjoy it. It seemed to be a hit. But one day I was sitting down and I said, I wonder if I can write poetry about cigars. Now, at this time, I was writing about anything. People were hiring me to write for weddings or birthdays or anniversaries. And I'm like, well, if I can write about all these other things, I'm sure I can write about a cigar. And so
Right.
I sat down and I wrote a poem about a cigar. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of impressed with myself. That's kind of good. But then I shared it in the group. And the
Hmm.
response that I got told me I was going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
And so I continued writing and I kept sharing every Wednesday. And people were messaging me. If I missed a Wednesday, they would message me, where are you? Why didn't you go live today? And I was like, okay, y'all like this. And so then COVID hit. And literally, I'm in bed one night and as clear as you and I are talking, God was like, publish it. You got a book. And I went through my notebook and I had pages and pages and pages of poems that I had written. And then people were like, it kind of got a little erotic,
Yes,
you
it
know,
did.
a little erotic feel to it. And I was like, you think
Yeah, some of them got a little heat coming behind them.
so? This is what's funny though, Ray, and I'm not even kidding. I wrote the book, but in my mind, that's not how it read to me. So I always have pilot groups for everything that I do. So I sent the book to my pilot group, and it's mostly men, and it's a lot of the men who actually taught me a lot about cigars back in St. Louis, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent the books to them, and they all read it, and a few people I know here in Dallas. And the feedback was, so you write erotic poetry now? I was like, no. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
I was like, well, what do you think? Because I almost didn't publish it because that wasn't my intent. I was like, I don't want to lose my audience because I'm writing erotica poetry because that's not really my lane.
Right.
And one of my friends, he was like, no, you need to publish this. This is good. It's short, it's to the point, and your audience is going to be mostly men. And so they don't want to sit there and read a novel. They need something short and quick and to the point. And so I said, okay, I'm going to publish it. And so I decided to publish it. It did well. The response was good. And I was able to go to local cigar lounges here in Dallas and do book readings and book signings. And so, yeah, and this was during COVID. So I said, well, the response is pretty good. But I just kept writing. It's COVID. So I just kept writing.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah. But I decided to change the theme up a little bit for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought process was there's so many blacks in the cigar culture that do not get the highlight. They don't get the credit that they deserve. And so I chose some of the black people that I know in the cigar culture that I wanted to highlight and I wanted to celebrate and I wanted to put them out there. And so I just started writing about them, whether it was a cigar or accessories or brand, whatever it may be, even the cigar lounges. I wanted to highlight them and this culture.
Yeah, that's good. You're right. They don't get, now I can say we don't get the that's signature, but we don't get the exposure or that the other cigar companies or cigar brands or accessory brands get. And like we said when we were on the lounge the other night, we just have to support each other. That's what we got to do. We just got to support each other. And the more we support each other, you know, who cares if they give us the recognition? You know, that's been my thing. Like when they were back talking about boycotting the Oscars, I said, who cares? Make our own Oscars. We got Denzel, we got what's his name? Spike Lee. Mm-hmm. We got Ryan Coogler, we got all of these black people, directors and prominent actors. We can make our own Oscars. Let that be the pinnacle. Yeah. I was gonna say Will Smith, but I can't say that right. All the rest of them, you know, we make our own Oscars. That could be the pinnacle right there. You know, instead of having Cigar Aficionado be where we trying to get, we need to get to our own. Yep. You know, whether that be TK's Black Smoke Magazine or if somebody else creates one. You know, whatever we decide is the pinnacle, that's what we fight for. That's what we shoot for, and let it be our own.
And I'm big on support. In this book, at the end of each poem in Cigar Chronicles 2, this was important for me to do. And so I wanna show people this. So the page that I opened up to is the page where I highlighted Conscious Cigars. And I don't know if people know about Conscious Cigars, but they are out of Tampa, Florida. And at the end of each piece, I put their IG page, or I put their website, or I put the way to be able to contact them, to support them, to show them love. Because if we don't support each other,
nobody else
we're
will.
going to sit dormant.
Yeah. We're not going to grow. We're going to be in the same place 10 years from now.
And that hater mentality, and I want it all for me, it's ridiculous, because it's plenty out here. It's plenty out here.
Right.
There's no reason to try to hold it all in your hand, because it's going to spill out. And so we got to do better about that. And so I'm hoping that we can create a movement around this where people start supporting one another. And we stop looking at each other and saying, who does he think he is? Who does she think she is? It's who we know we are. It's who we know we are.
Exactly. And we support. We know our worth, and we support each other.
Yeah.
So, switching lanes a little bit, let's talk about, I hope I don't say it wrong, Hillionaire?
Hillionaire.
There it is, Hillionaire.
Yes.
So let's talk about that one. How did that one come about?
So, very similar to Cigar Chronicles. People would ask me questions about my journey and my path. And they would say, why is it so important to heal? And, what have you done to heal? And why is that the most important thing to you? And they were like, you've been doing this for a long time, but, you're not wealthy. And I said, your wealth has to start with your emotional and mental well-being. Yes. If you're not well emotionally and mentally, I don't care how much money you got. How many people that are rich kill themselves?
Exactly.
How many people that are rich that don't know who they are? They're not secure with themselves.
Exactly.
They're alone. And so wealthy is a lot of people's mindset. But my mindset is get your mental, your spiritual, your physical, get all of that right. And then the millions, the money is going to come. But you get your mind right, get your heart right, get your spirit right, get your body right. That's the key right there. And so I asked 2 other poets. I actually put a shout out to other women that I knew that were poets, and they kind of spoke about the same things that I spoke about to join me in this collaborative effort. And so I had 2 other poets that joined me. And we all have 2 chapters in the book, and it spells out healing, HEALIN. And so each of those letters represent something. So hope, evolve, acknowledge. So each letter represents something. So we each took a letter and we wrote our chapters about that specific word, and with hopes of inspiring other people. Lean in towards your healing. And then you start working in your gift, and the money gonna come.
Right.
That's how that works. But you can't be a broken person out here trying to tear down other people, and your heart ain't right, and you think, even if you get money, are you gonna keep it?
Exactly.
You know what to do with it. And so all of that's extremely important.
Yeah. Is it gonna make you happy? Is it gonna keep you secure?
Yep.
And like you said, how many of these celebrities that we see who have all of this money and all of this fame, and they're dealing with so many demons they can't overcome it?
Right.
You just think maybe if they had healed before they got all of that, they might still be here. Instead of turning to substances and all of these other things. Yeah. So why is helping others heal so important to you?
Because I know what brokenness does to you. So I know what it does when you don't do the work. And so, again, like I said earlier, I'm big on support. One of the things that I will say as I talk about how important it is that others around me heal is because if you're around me, and I want to see us all grow, and I want to support us all, and I want to see us all win. But if I'm healing, because I'll never be fully healed, I will always be in a state of healing. But if I'm healing and you're not, what does that do for partnerships? What does that do for relationships? So I don't want to be around you and you broken and I'm healing and I'm doing the work and I know how to do that. And you
Right.
sitting around angry and broken and pissed off, and you got a whole bunch of things that's going on that I don't know anything about, but that could affect what we doing.
Right.
So
Because it can come out at any time.
It can come out at any time, and I've experienced it. And so on the other side, I have to be very careful because I have connected with people who don't even want to do the work. And so what happens is you want to partner with me, but you don't want to do the work. And so as a result of that, you know, we colliding instead of collaborating.
Right.
And that doesn't work for me. And then, you know, when you're like, you know what, I'm good. Wish you the best. You need to go do some work. I'm going to keep going on this journey. And whoever wants to join me on the journey, I'm open to that. But I have gotten a little bit better about vetting people because my heart was speaking before my brain was able to register what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Calculate the mathematics of the situation.
Yeah.
See everything and say, okay, all right, I'll see where that is. So tell us about your courses and workshops.
So I started doing self-publishing workshops and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
People were, you know, asking, how did you, because I've self-published all of my books.
Wow.
There is one book that I did a collaboration with it's me and 9 other women, and it's called #BossMoms.
Mm-hmm.
It's out on Amazon, #1 bestseller. The visionary author, her name is Delisha Hudson, and she is a financial advisor. So she pulled these other 9 women together, and we wrote different chapters about being moms, being entrepreneurs, you know, all of those types of things. But all of my other books have been self-published. I believe in owning all of my shit. And so, yeah, I could go to a publisher, I can do all of that, but I want to own it, and I want to be able to have legacy to pass down to my son and my nephew. And so it's like I don't have control over it when I give it over to somebody else. And so so I teach others who want to own the rights to their books. My background is legal, and so I'm able to incorporate what I know in the legal with the self-publishing aspect of it.
That's something that Nipsey Hussle spoke so heavily about, owning your own shit. Everybody, you think about the people who own their own shit. You know, you have to, because if not, like if you're a musician and you don't own your music, you can't perform when you want to. You could be missing out on money. And same thing with the books. If like you said, if you own it, you can pass that down. If not, they can do what they want with it. They can take your face off it. They can put somebody else on it. They can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
And they're making the bulk of the money.
Right. And then you have to listen to their PR person, their media person, all of, you know, it's so many different components to that I don't want to do that. I don't want to go by other people's rules on that. I want to do it the way that I want to do it. I'm an artist. I'm creative. And I want to do it the way that I want to do it without being bogged down with other people's demands or instructions about how I need to do my thing. It's mine.
Right. You can't tell me how to be me.
I even had so I've only had an editor a couple of times. Poetry is one of those things where it's hard to edit, right? Because you have an editor, they'll take parts of your creativity. And so I thought, like, if I have a publisher, they're going to try to put this person on this and that person on that. And all of these people are going to try to tell me how to, it just didn't work. It's because it's hard to control art. It's hard to control that.
Yeah, you can't control my vision. This is my vision. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I want it to sound like. This is how I want it to read. I don't care what you got to say.
Right. Somebody said what we smoking, right?
So I am smoking Nica Rustica, spicy. What the thing on spicy. I'm smoking the Rocky Patel 55. Damn lights. Well, that's what I'm smoking. And I'm sipping on this, where is it? Oak and Eden, right here.
Okay.
Seems to pair pretty well. Pairs pretty well. Yes, I did put ice in it because I'm in the garage and I don't want to pass out. Uh, it's only one cube. It's only one cube, so
You know,
I
it
had to
cooled
cool it off
down
a
in
little.
Dallas.
I don't want to hear that.
I mean, it's like 70 degrees in Dallas.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. It's hot as hell here.
Is it
It's
100
always hot as
degrees?
hell in
100
Houston.
degrees?
Damn near.
Sorry.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in St. Louis, and we moved to LA when I was 6. And so I was pretty much in LA. But I tell people I really had the best of all worlds because grew up in LA. We went back to St. Louis for the summers. And then we spent a month in Kentucky, where my family's from, small town called Clinton. And so I got some country living, I got some small city living, and I got some big city living. So, yeah, I got it all.
Got it
I try
all.
to
Some
fish,
country.
hunting, playing in the streets,
You out there
street smarts.
cleaning beer. Shit, cleaning beer. And writing poetry about it.
While you playing, I did write a piece about it.
I knew it. That's why I said it.
You know me already. That's funny, Ray.
So let's talk about this podcast. This podcast. Where can it be heard and what is it about?
So the podcast is it's like on 10 different platforms, but to name a few: Anchor, Spotify, Apple. The podcast basically came out of my 3-part series. So my 3-part series is called the Healing Poetic Expression Series. So the first book is called My Words Healed My Soul. The second book is The second book is The Depths of My Soul Healed Through Love and Empowerment. And then the third book is The Constant Road to Healing. So I finished off the series with The Constant Road to Healing because we are on a constant road to healing. It's right. Continuous. People will always use the term "I'm healed." Well, you might be feeling like you're healed, but we're continuously healing. And that's why it's important to do the work. That's why it's important to have a therapist. That's why it's important to be self-aware. That's why it's important to have some physical activity in our lives, because all of those things aid us in our healing journey. And you may not think that those things are linked up, but they are. All of that is attached. Your body, your mind, your spirit, all of those things are attached. And so you can heal more readily when you're working on all of those things succinctly. So I didn't answer your question fully. So the podcast
had to get a sip in. That's okay.
Right. The podcast was derived from those books. So what I started to do was I took different poems and I made topics out of them. And at the end of each topic, I would speak for about 20 minutes or less. Each podcast is short, so about 20 minutes or less. So for instance, I talked about childhood trauma, which is my #1 listened to podcast that I have. So that one is entitled Childhood Trauma. So I talk about childhood trauma, and at the end of it, I read a poem from the book. So it refers people back to that specific poem that touches on that topic. So I tell people which book it comes from. So if you are looking for a book that's talking about childhood trauma, or you're talking about, or you want to know more about forgiveness, or you want to know more about being in a bad relationship and overcoming obstacles, I'm going to read that specific poem at the end of having that discussion.
That sounds amazing. I didn't even know you had a podcast till I started doing my little research. I didn't even know. Now I do. I gotta go listen. I'm saying, you got a podcast? I ain't know nothing about that. Why you tell me? Whatever. So,
sometimes
so
I concentrate on some things more than others. So
yeah, I see. And I thought it was all Cigar Chronicles and Cigar Chronicles too. And then I started looking. All right, so I got like 37 books on here. What is this? Podcast, coaching. What is this?
I just told Marcus the other day. I was like, sometimes I'd be like, am I Jamaican? How do I have all these jobs?
That's what I'm saying. Hey, man.
How do I work all these jobs and still sleep?
I don't know. You got books coming out and podcasts to do, and you got a lot. Got a lot. So in starting your business, what obstacles did you face?
The obstacle that we talked about last week, support. And that was the obstacle, that was more of my obstacle than anything else. And I say that because we got a whole world with billions of people, right? But the emotional part, right, of you wants the people that's closest to you to support you. And that could be detrimental. It could create stagnation for you because you'll be like, but the people around me aren't supporting, instead of focusing on putting your work out there to people who you will connect with. So my biggest obstacle when I started my business was me. I wanted the people closest to me to support me, and they didn't. And that was a roadblock for me because I slowed down because I didn't feel like what I was doing was good enough. I didn't feel like if the people around me, friends, family, don't support, then I guess it's not that great. And so other people won't support. And like I said last week when we were on the lounge, I went to a conference out in LA, San Diego actually, and Lisa Nichols, who's a big speaker and coach, it was her conference. And she got on that stage and she said something so powerful. She said, we want our family and our friends to support what we're doing, but it's our vision. It's our goal. It's our dream. You have to reach the people who are looking for the answer that you're giving. We are providing answers. So with your podcast, Ray, you're providing an answer. You're providing a solution. People are going to look for that. It's rarely ever our friends and our family, because they're likely still in the same place that they've been in. That's not a knock to them. It's not a blow to them. We have got to a space where we are rising and want to live out our goals and our dreams. And so they don't see what we see.
Right.
And so it's impossible for them to support us along that journey because it's foreign to them. So they're not connecting that, hey, I need to just be supporting to show love, but we can't let that get in our way. And that I let that get in my way for a long time until I found my tribe. And my tribe changes over time. It grows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it evolves. And so, you know, I'm always looking for more tribe, you know?
Right.
So, but I think we can't look at it like they don't love us or they don't care about us, but you do have to look at it and say, assess the situation. Are they really my friends though?
Right.
Because a friend, to me, support is a like, a share. You don't always have to spend money, but if you're not doing anything, I need to reassess the relationship and be like, yeah, you're not that to me. And that's okay.
Right.
We've evolved past that place, and you know this because we've talked about it. Crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
How dare you try to go above me and the bottom of this barrel?
Exactly. And I'm in the bottom of the barrel. Look, I'll pull you up. Just help me out.
Mm-hmm.
We need one of us to get out first. We all can't be in here pulling everybody down. Somebody got to get out first. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's one of the things that I, with not only my podcast, but also started my cigar brand, that I had to get over. And we talked about this, but when, dealing with people who I thought would be my biggest supporters, not seeing anything from them. You know what I mean? And
It's
that
like a
that
dagger in the heart, right? It's like a
yeah,
dagger in the heart. I
yeah.
get it.
But like you said, it's my vision. My cigar brand is not their vision.
Yep.
My cigar brand, they don't care about it.
Mhm.
If I make it or if it fails, they don't care.
Mhm.
I do. So I have to find the people who want my
Yep.
cigars and keep that going. Find the people who want to watch and support my podcast, and that's the people that I do it for.
Yeah.
You know
And
that.
I'm sure there was some inspiration from our Austin trip
Oh,
because
definitely,
it was all strangers that supported you and me. Chevalier. It was all strangers, and
definitely,
that's who's
definitely.
gonna support us.
And that was a huge inspiration. People who didn't know me at all, now they know me and they enjoy my cigars.
Mhm.
And that was a huge inspiration for me. And I'm glad that I did it. I'm really glad that I did it. So, what sacrifices had you had to make in pursuit of your dream?
The biggest sacrifice is I have to say no to a lot of things, or I used to. I
Hmm.
mean, I still do, but when I started in my business, and even now, I pour a lot of my own money into, back into my business. So I can't take the extravagant vacations that other people are taking. I
Hmm.
can't, do certain things that other people are doing so that's a huge sacrifice because even though I don't have some of the same, I don't have some of the same responsibilities that some people may have. That's my responsibility. My
Hmm.
business is my responsibility. And so
Definitely.
until I get my business to a certain level, that's a goal. Until your business gets to a certain level, no, you don't get to do this, this, and this. That's my sacrifice for myself. And that's been my sacrifice since I started my business. There are things that I can't do because I'm pouring back into my business. And I'm okay with that.
Right. Right. That's well, when I had to request for the time off to go to Austin, the supervisor, well, the superintendent was like, "Well, enjoy your life." Oh, stank. And I'm like, "This ain't life. This is business.
Yeah.
This is business. This ain't a vacation. I'm building something."
Right.
You know. And y'all all know how I feel about the job.
Oh
Y'all,
yeah.
everybody know
Oh
I'm a card carrying member.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, you have to go after it, regardless. You can't take your time in doing it. You have to go full speed, and you have to be all in.
I'll share this other sacrifice that I made with you because people really were astounded by this one. When I made up in my mind that I was going to publish my first book, I said I have to be so focused, laser focused, that everything gets shut out. And I'm going to still I'm not going to not allow myself to do something. So I said, I sat down and I wrote down all the things I enjoy doing. Happy
Hmm.
hours and going to the club and parties because this has been a long time ago since I wrote the first book. So I'm like, these are all the things I enjoy doing. I said, I spend a lot of time in front of a damn TV, a lot of time. So that's getting eliminated. So I literally had one TV in my house. I removed the TV from my bedroom and I didn't watch TV. And I
Wow.
worked diligently on writing my book, on writing my business plan, on creating all of the things I needed to do for my business because I had to be that focused. You have to give up things in order to be successful. You can't go out every night and run your business. You can't, not successfully, unless you
Right.
got a huge team of people that are going to handle it for you. But even with that, you still want to know what's going on in your business. So if you're going
Exactly.
out and other people are running your business, good luck. So there are things that you have to say no to. There are things that you can't do because you want to pump money back into your business. To make
Right.
money, you got to spend money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. So I have a lot of discipline And so it takes discipline to be able to say no. It takes discipline to be able to say, as much as I would like to do that. I just had a friend get married at the same time as Austin Cigar Week. Would I have preferred to go to Jamaica? Absolutely. But Austin is business. Anything that I do is business. And so you always have to factor those things in. Like, okay, I can have some fun, but at the end of the day, this is business.
Right. Right. You gotta put that first until you get to Jeff Bezos level. Then you can do what you want. You know?
Right.
Then you can do what you want. You can go to space and all that.
Yep. That boy. Keya McClain, author, poet, speaker, and podcast host. You need to check me out. Follow me at Keya McClain, the poet.
So how has entrepreneurship changed your life?
Well, it's changed my mindset. Definitely changed my mindset. I remember, and I actually just posted a clip today about being a college graduate. And, I was told that it was important to go to college and work that dream job and stay at that job for 50 years. And, my grandmother was insistent on this, because my granny, she worked at her job forever. And, she didn't have the education. So it was important. You got to get education. You got to get an education. I'm not taking away from my education. 3 degrees later, student loan debt. Entrepreneurship has taught me that you can run your own business. You can do your own thing. There are gifts that you have inside of you that you're taking and helping other people be successful. So why can't you do it yourself? Why can't you take the gifts that you have, get you a successful team around you, and do what the people who you go to a job for do? So I don't have a worker bee mentality. That's what entrepreneurship has done for me. I'm not rich. I've worked in the legal field for 20 years, and that's been able to fund my dream, which is entrepreneurship. But I'll say it's not the thing for me. People get excited about that. Oh my God, that's wonderful that you work in legal and you have these degrees. It is. It's an accomplishment. I'm not taking away from that. But entrepreneurship has taught me that had I had the tools that I got from life, from this job, from all of these other things, that I could have just done entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a mindset that a lot of people don't have, the entrepreneurial mindset. A lot of people have it, but a lot of people don't. I'm like I said earlier, everybody know how I feel about that job. And it's all of those jobs.
All of them.
Like you said, I don't do well like that. I don't do well with someone regulating when I can use the bathroom. If I got to go, I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that.
Why questions? Why this? Why that? I'm an adult.
Why you need that day off? Because I don't want to come here.
Yeah.
But I can't say that.
I'll say this too, Ray. Becoming an entrepreneur has made me a lot more vocal about how I feel. I will tell a job in a minute, I'm not doing that. I'll say it. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not driving into an office today because I don't need to. I can work from home and I don't need to do any of that. So when you understand that, okay, if you fire me, okay, like, not like, okay, like I'm rich, but okay, like I'll survive.
I'll be all right.
This job and I'll find another one.
I'll find another one.
I'll do what I need to do in my business to grow to a level that I don't need you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I really feel like we have to stop. And everybody, let me say this: everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody's not supposed to be an entrepreneur. I need people that can work with me, that will help me to grow my business, and those are going to be people that are employees. And so I realize everybody's not an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that that's the case for everybody. My nephew graduates on Sunday. He's going to college. So, and I think he's going to be an excellent college student. I believe he'll be an excellent college student, and he'll be excellent at whatever he goes out here and decides to do. But everybody can't run businesses. But I feel like if you have that mindset, you can't be deterred by the American dream of college and debt and working at a business and a job forever. Things have shifted. We are in a paradigm shift. This is not when Granny and Granddaddy was working at factories and companies for 50 years. Right. It's been a shift. We don't do that anymore.
There's a generation. It's a generation out here, and I'm a car carrier member. You know, people in a heartbeat. I'll find another one. Yeah. Do what you want. I'll find another one. Yeah. You know, and I did have to come to that realization as well that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. You know, there are some people who just don't want to do that. Yeah. You know, it's like telling people, oh, when you buy your first house, buy a duplex, and then you know you got money coming in. I don't want to be a landlord.
Yep, exactly.
So that's for some people. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So, and I had to understand because some people get annoyed with me because I push them hard to start a business, and they be like, look, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I say, okay. And then I push them again. I gotta learn to stop that.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, it's not for everybody, but it's for me. So
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm working for. You know, I'm definitely working for that. Yeah. So what has been the best part of your journey?
Meeting different people. That's been the best part for me. You know, meeting people that on the face, it's helped me in terms of making judgments. Because you look at a person, and we all do it. You know, I told you I'm transparent. I don't throw roses and flowers on shit. I'll call it like it is. I'm gonna say it like it is. Yes. So here's the thing. We all do it. You look at a person and you size them up and you make whatever judgment. It's particularly in the cigar community. I've met so many people that have interesting backgrounds and interesting stories that have become friends of mine, who have become business partners, or we've been able to do business together. And so it has allowed me to even become even more open-minded than I was, because I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy looking at that person, and now it's kind of like in my head a joke, like in my head I think they're this, but I bet when I go talk to them they're this, right? So it's kind of like this game that I play in my head about not judging people, walking up to people, and I know people do it. You know, I've had people do it to me, but when you can meet different people and you're like, oh wow, like they're really cool. They're just giving out all this information. They're, you know, sharing stuff and resources and connecting you with other people. That's the best part about this journey, is you never know who you meet. That's why you should always treat people kind. You never know who you are encountering. Treat all people kind. Everybody.
Yeah, definitely treat everybody kind. Not just the way you want to be treated, but treat everybody with kindness. You know, you got to. We definitely got to spread more love in this world. You know, and things are really going out of control now. You know, and so we definitely got to spread more love in this world. And like you said, you never know who you're meeting. You could be meeting someone who could take your business from here to there in a week. You never know who you meet. And normally I don't shout out the comments, but I got to do it this time. Tasha put in there amen, and I know where that came from. I'm going to just say that. So you never know who you meet. You got to treat people with kindness and reach out to people and talk to people. And, you know, like you could be meeting someone that could take your business from here to there. Or if the entrepreneurial spirit isn't in you, you could be meeting somebody that can take you from this job to that job.
Exactly.
You know, you never know. You really gotta treat people with kindness, and can't really say that enough because we definitely need kindness.
Yeah, and my friends, you know, the running joke is they're like, it's not a place you go that you don't meet a friend. You go and you're smiling at people, you're talking to people, you know, but I think that's what you should be doing. You should be smiling at people. You should be talking to people, you know, and everybody's not warm and inviting when I do that, but that's not my business. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. That's them. I don't know what kind of day you had. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what it is. And if you do it long enough to me, I'll leave you alone. But I'm gonna
still get a good morning.
I'm gonna start with kindness. That's how I'm gonna start. You're not
still gonna get a good morning, even though you got that stank on your face. Good morning.
People like, I'm gonna give you the same energy you giving me. I'm not, because my energy don't go down that low. So if your energy way down there, you can keep that down there.
Yeah, I gotta go over here. I just can't be around you. Like I put in the Herfador the other day, them energy vultures. We got to stay away from them because they will suck. They will do their best to suck the energy out of you and everything you got. Exactly. If you let them. If you let them. They stronger. Some of them energy vultures strong. Some of them strong, boy. They do whatever they can to get you out your right mind. Oh, them the energy demons. The vultures ain't that strong. Yeah, that's one level up from the vultures.
And the crazy thing is, they be thinking they not even, like, they don't even realize it.
Have no idea that they doing it. But they just like, okay, why you ain't been coming around? Why you ain't said nothing? Why you ain't?
Ooh, you talking about something?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna stop.
You stirring it up.
I'm stirring it up a little bit. So what are two of your most important principles? Let's move on. Let's move on.
I'm gonna start going down. We might
right.
The numbers go down. Okay.
So, well, they're not watching. But go ahead.
All right. You saw the names pop up. Okay.
Yeah, I know they're not watching. They don't ever. So anyway, what are two of your most important principles?
Always staying transparent and honest. Staying transparent, being who I am, because people recognize when you're not being authentic. People recognize when you're not being honest with them. Yeah. And, you know, that is a culmination of integrity. That's integrity. And once your integrity is damaged, once people don't believe you, people won't do business with you. People do business with people they like.
Right.
My product can be mediocre, but if people like me, they're going to do business with me. They're going to support my business. But if my integrity isn't in line, they're not going to do business with me. If I get caught up in a bunch of lies, if I'm not being transparent and honest and representing myself in an authentic manner, they're not going to work with me.
Definitely.
So, I'm real big on that. I'm drinking some red wine. What is this, babe? This 19 Crimes? Okay.
Oh, Mark is sitting over there?
Marcus is sitting right across from me.
He got on his hoochie daddy shorts?
No. He is not like our brother, Chevalier. He's not permitted to wear hoochie shorts, okay? We had to have a whole conversation. Look here. That's our friend, but you cannot follow in his footsteps.
Keep them thighs covered up.
I said, babe, don't you do it. Hey, look, he found them online the other day, Ray.
He found some?
He found some online. He come on, look at Chevalier's shorts. don't know if he's still on here or not, but
They say on TikTok it's Hoochie Daddy season.
season.
They say the thighs is out.
Hoochie daddies are out here flourishing.
Well, the internet creates something different every couple years. It's something new. Boy, when they came up with Hoochie Daddy. Hoochie Daddies.
Marcus said that no skinny jeans either.
Oh no.
We ain't doing none of that around here.
None of that. None of that. At the knee for me. I can go at the knee. At the knee. I can't do them. That 3 inches above, I can't do that. That's too much thigh out. No Hoochie Daddies. No Hoochie Daddies. Closest thing to Hoochie Daddy, I gotta say, right at the knee. When I stand up, if it's right at the knee, but then when I sit down, I gotta keep pulling them down.
Yeah,
I don't need all that thigh out. I don't need all that thigh out. I need no Hoochie Daddies going on. I don't need no Hoochie Daddy stuff going on. I can't do that. I'm not a Hoochie Daddy. I can't do that.
I can't with you, Ray.
So, what advice would you give to anyone starting or thinking about starting a business?
Get a mentor.
That's big.
And listen.
That's big too.
Some people get mentors, but they don't listen. Look, you know how when you walk in the store and it says wet floor, right? They have to give those types of instructions. Now you see the water, you see the mop bucket, but some people still gonna walk over it, so they got to put the caution sign up.
Yeah.
So I have to give full instructions. Get a mentor and listen to the mentor, right? Because when you go into a relationship with somebody who's willing to first give up their time, give up their resources, they're sharing with you, right?
Right.
They're trusting that what they're giving to you is not a waste of their time or yours.
Right.
So getting a mentor is invaluable to your business. Get somebody who's doing what you do and they're successful at it.
Right.
Because it's hard. And one of the things I didn't get to say earlier is, as an entrepreneur, I quit damn near every day. I quit. I ain't doing this no more. Every day.
You better not quit.
I said every day.
We need Cigar Chronicles 3.
Yeah, because the signature got to be in Cigar Chronicles 3. I'm on this, brother.
Yes.
I'm on this.
Yes, it does.
But I have to be transparent and honest about that feeling. And so if you want to get into business, I have to be honest and convey that to people out here. Don't think it's not all glory. What we post online is we posting the good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We posting the good stuff, but you don't see the late nights up. You don't understand the thoughts that go through our head. You don't understand the thought of failure or the money that we've invested in something and we waiting for it to come back, or the loss that we may have got from it. Yeah. So it's not all glory. You have to understand that if you get a mentor, if you get a coach, if you get somebody that can help guide you along, that will help you to avoid some of the pitfalls and some of the mistakes that I may have made coming into it. Right. One of the reasons I wanted to be a coach is because I like to help. I want to support other people. And so what was happening is people was coming and they're like, well, how did you do this? How did you do that? And so I incorporated curriculums to be able to help people to do those things so they could avoid some of the mistakes I made. Right. So that's basically a mentor. That's basically a coach. Whether you hire somebody or you ask for somebody to just help you in your journey. And the other thing that I want to suggest is don't just come to somebody and say, help me. Ask them how you can serve them as well. Can you volunteer at an event? Can you help them get ready for another event? What is it that you can do to serve them? Because of social media, I'm telling you, I get 2 or 3 messages a week on social media. People don't say hello. They don't say how you doing. They come straight in. Can you help me, dude? I cannot. And where's your manners? Who
Exactly.
raised
We
you?
just talked about kindness. You
I
don't just
mean,
come flying in hot
just
like
come
that.
flying. So you have to be like respect. You have to be respectful because you don't just have an expectation for people to just give you their time and give you their resources and give
Right.
you their information.
Right.
And you think you don't have to do anything? It don't work like that.
Yeah. It does not work like that. You guys, what is it? Quid pro quo. Is that what that means? Yeah, that's the right one.
Pro
Quid
quo.
pro quo. You gotta give to get.
Yeah.
You have to. If I'm gonna give you information, what you gonna do for me?
Yeah.
You know, and we definitely live in that what you gonna do for me time, but still, I'm giving you this information that's gonna help you be successful. Like you said, the least you could do is help me box some stuff up.
Yep. And let's be
That's the
honest.
least you could do.
Let's be honest. I don't care what kind of relationship you in. You are in that relationship for something. Whether it is a work relationship, a business partnership, a loving relationship, a friendship. People, I just like to be nice. Bullshit. I call
Yeah,
bullshit. We're all
definitely.
in something to get something. We want reciprocal relationships. Everybody wants reciprocal relationships. So if I say, Ray, let's connect and let's do this thing, there's something that I want out of this too, but I'm going to give as well.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
coming to just take. So you do have to be present and in the moment to be able to identify, here comes the taker. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you only deal with people who are interested in having reciprocal relationships, which means there'll be growth and there'll be an advantage for both of us, not just
Right.
one party.
Right. You damn sure just can't benefit off me. You think I'm not going to get something out this deal? you better you better give me something.
Hey,
And
I'll
then,
mess around and invoice you, and you'll be
you
like,
ain't lying.
where this come from?
You get an
You
invoice.
just got 45 minutes of my time, and I asked you to show up, and then you send me a text 5 minutes before the event. Oh, I'm sorry I can't show up and help. Well, here's your invoice.
Yeah, go and pay that.
Yeah,
Go and pay that right quick.
run me my money.
That's what you gave. Ain't nothing free.
Nothing.
Nothing is free.
Nothing.
Ain't nothing free. And if you think it's free, they finna ask you for something in a minute. So just wait. Just wait. They finna ask you for something in a minute.
That's true fact.
So what's next for Keya McClain, the poet?
So actually, I'm going to be rebranding the coaching business. So self-publishing coaching, I will only be taking VIP clients going forward. And then I'm going to start working with specifically women who are on a healing journey. They'll be journaling through that healing process, and I'll be giving them poetry prompts. They'll have a journal that has poetry prompts and things of that nature to help them. Because again, as we started out in the conversation, collectively, I did therapy and I did a number of other things on my journey. And there was a significant advantage through my journey to become better.
Right.
Because I was journaling, because I was writing, because I was doing all these other things that helped me along the way. And so in between those visits of my therapy sessions, I needed to journal. But I didn't really have a guide on how to do that. I just was kind of like doing something.
Writing,
And
just
so,
writing stuff.
Just writing. And so I want to be able to help other people who are on their journey to healing. And again, specifically women, because that's been my biggest audience. I do have some men that are interested in that. But yeah, I want to help women to be able to journal through that using poetry prompts. And a lot of times it creates an artist in them.
Yeah, that's a lot of people have an artist in them that they don't even know is there.
Yep.
And all it takes is somebody willing to pull it out to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what people have inside of them, you know. That goes both ways.
That's how I started. That's how I started, you know, my son.
Yeah.
You know, he's telling me, like, Mom, you're good.
And now you're like, I'm good.
I mean, so you got me clowning on here with you, Ray.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
It is. It is.
Oh,
This is my funnest engagement yet.
good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do it again.
Bring me back.
Definitely. We're gonna bring you back when you rebrand the coaching, so we can put that out there too.
Yeah.
But as for now, Miss Keya McClain, please tell the people I just said your name, so tell the people where they can find you, your Instagram, your website, all that good stuff.
So, of course, if you click on the drop down up there, you can just click on my name and you can follow me on Instagram. You can go out to my website, which is keyascoaching.com. Babe, can you put that in the comment section for me, please? My website, keyascoaching.com is my website. You can follow me on YouTube. That's also Keya McClain. You can follow me on Facebook. That's Keya McClain. And then, of course, my podcast is called The Healing Poetic Podcast. The Healing Poetic Podcast is out there on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, so many different outlets. And so I would appreciate your support. If Ray will allow me a few minutes, I do want to share one of the pieces from Cigar Chronicles. So this is Cigar Chronicles for those that don't have it. This is Cigar Chronicles 2. And so you could go out to the website. I'm also on Amazon for all of my books. So feel free to go out there. Now, Ray, I'm going to do you the honors because this is your show. And I'm going to ask you which piece you want to hear. I'm just going to give you the title, and then you tell me which piece you want to hear. Do you want to hear In My Box? Do you want to hear Thank You? Do you want to hear When I Tasted You? Or do you want to hear Bizarre?
Let's do.
Right. Can you put that light on?
Let's do Bizarre.
Bizarre. This is actually one of my favorite ones.
Let's do Bizarre.
Okay. See, and I gave the titles because the people on here who don't have the book, they need to go ahead and get their book because I got some interesting topics.
Y'all go get that book. Both of them.
Both.
Both. BOFF.
BOFFEM.
Both of them.
Okay, so this piece is called Bizarre, and it's again in the first book, Cigar Chronicles 1. Do you find it bizarre that a cigar will keep you where you are for hours? And although I'm not revealing my superpowers, I am puffing and parlaying. There won't be any delaying. And during these smoke sessions, there's no plan. I'm staying right here with you. Where the cloud of smoke allows me to revoke anything not meant for me. Ultimately, who will you be? Realize the power you hold within. Don't be scared to just begin. You'll be pleased when you win. Some say smoking is a sin. No way this hobby with friends is my downfall. Whether you decide to stall and make your time to get to the humidor, just make sure you make your way through that door. It's cigar lounge etiquette, and it's as simple as that. And that is that piece. Yeah, get your snap on. Get your snap on.
Can you hear my snaps? I don't want to snap with this cigar in that hand. I snap.
Yeah, don't throw your ash all over the place.
Yeah, I want to throw the ash. There we go. Get the snaps over there.
Oh, that sounds good. That's a good snap, right?
I'm gonna edit in more snaps anyway.
I'm gonna have to put that in the audience.
Get my loud ass snaps. Them loud ass snaps.
I'll be like, damn, I need to go home and practice my snapping.
Snapping loud like that.
So, a lot of my pieces are, I kind of take in all the things that I do. So I'm trying to inspire people. And again, even though there's a little bit of erotica there, to that particular piece. A lot of the pieces do have some erotica in it, but there's also some inspiration and some motivation, and it's kind of like telling you to push through. Cigars have been part of my healing journey as well. It's been the thing that I've been able to do to cope, to get through a lot of the things. And, you know, I didn't really get to touch on that, but I do want to.
Well, let's touch on it right now. We're not done. We can keep going.
Okay. So for me, cigars have been instrumental through my healing journey. It's helped me through so many different things, through death, through the loss of different things, through change, you know, and so through family dynamic stuff. It's helped me to get through those things. And so many people who don't smoke in my life, you know, they're always questioning, why do you smoke? You smoke cigars all the time. And they don't understand the therapeutic aspect of cigars. When you're smoking a cigar, you're literally blowing out the bullshit, right?
Definitely.
You're blowing it out.
Definitely.
And the amazing thing about a cigar that's different from cigarettes or weed or anything else is you literally get to enjoy a cigar. You get to enjoy the notes in a cigar, right? So I've gotten to the point where I enjoy sitting back and smoking and being like, that's a little bit of cocoa and a little bit of pepper. And, you know, I love to be able to do that. That gets me through that moment. And a lot of people don't get that because they think it's just a fad. And for some people it is. For some people it is. Right. But it has become therapy for me. It's become therapy.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. It's definitely therapy for me because, like you said in the poem, it'll keep you where you are for hours.
Yeah.
You know, and as I've stated so many times, if you're smoking cigarettes, you can smoke cigarettes fast like that. You can't do that with the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Once you select the cigar, everything has to slow down.
Yeah.
You know, and as you're smoking it, you get to think and reflect.
Yep.
You know, you like you say, you pick out the flavor notes and you think and you reflect on the day or whatever issue might be happening or everything.
Yeah.
You know, and you definitely are literally blowing out the bullshit when you smoke a cigar.
I had a guy come up to me one time in one of my readings and he said, do you think you can tell my wife why I sit up here for hours because your poem says that? I said, no, take her the book so she can read it. Because he's like, she can't believe I'm sitting in the cigar lounge for hours. She's like, you can't be sitting in a cigar lounge for hours. What the hell are y'all doing at a cigar lounge for hours and hours? Smoking, literally smoking and connecting with people. This is one of the best things I could have done because of the camaraderie that it affords us, because of just the relaxation it provides, the moments of thought and reflection and all of that. This thing here does so much. It's amazing that this does all of that. It's amazing.
It is. It's amazing that aged and cured tobacco leaves, rolled up tightly, can bring so many people together. It can be therapy. It can be connecting. You know, it all it is cured tobacco leaves, rolled up tightly. Some of them put a nice little band on there. Some of them don't. Yeah. But it does so much, and it is definitely an amazing thing, and I love it. And people need to understand that when we smoking cigars, we are doing a lot. We're doing nothing, but we're doing a lot at the same time.
Right.
You know.
I asked Marcus to put my website in the comments. He ain't done nothing. Let me put it up here.
His thighs might be out. That's what it is.
He's sitting over there working.
Oh.
I ain't working right now. Now if he wasn't working, I'd be saying something.
Mm-hmm. Why you ain't working? You could be working too.
We both Jamaican. Get to it.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Let's do it. Don't be trying to do it now. I got it, buddy. I'm messing with you, but this is one of my biggest supporters. This is one of my
He
biggest
better be.
supporters. Yeah.
He better damn be.
Or he wouldn't be here, huh?
Right. He better be.
You won't make it. You won't make it.
Right. Right. Like we said, support is huge.
So, as entrepreneurs, how do our mates and significant others and husbands and wives deal with the amount of time that we have to put and effort that we have to put into our businesses? That's another important aspect. Choose your mates wisely. Choose people that you're going to be with. Because if they're not going to support you, if they're not going to understand the grind of what you're doing, it's going to make it difficult on the relationship and the growth of your business.
Right. Definitely. You definitely got to have somebody who's not only going to understand what you have to do, but is also going to support you.
Yep.
And be your biggest supporter. The way that I ship my cigars, that was my Keisha. That was my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She came up with the whole idea of how to ship them to be different.
Yep.
And she watches every podcast. I'm pretty sure she goes through and watches and likes again on YouTube. Yeah. She reposts everything. She shares everything. She likes everything. You have to have that support.
Yeah, and
if you don't have that support, it's going to be.
And I have to mention this because I love this, and I'm gonna give my baby a shout out too. But it was interesting, you would walk away and then you would come back, sold another one. You come back, sold another one, right? Y'all did y'all high five thing. And that's the type of partner that you really do have to have. Marcus was out there, so he's really immersed himself into trying to learn and understand each and every book and product that I sell. And he was trying to, tell people, hey, come over here. Let me, he was a big seller of my rings. He was getting people to come over there and buy the rings and get people interested at the table. And you have to have people that are going to support you, that's going to show you some love and believes in you. And believes in you.
Right.
You can't have somebody that don't believe in you.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Right. If they know, because if they believe in you, they're going to pull something out of you that you didn't know was there.
Yeah.
And if I don't see it and you see it and you push me to do it, that's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Look, it worked. And then they say, I knew it would. I'm like, well, dang.
Yeah, that's why relationships and marriages are partnerships. It's partnership.
Right.
We're in this together. We're in it together. And your strengths are going to help me in whatever it is that I'm doing. And my strengths are going to help you in whatever it is you're doing. And that's what it's about.
Definitely. Keya, I really appreciate you accepting the invitation to be on the show. This was an amazing show. I hope everybody watching got some nuggets. I hope everybody watching goes and buys those books at keyascoaching.com. I don't never do this, but I'm going to do it now. Like, share, subscribe.
Do it.
I figured everybody else on YouTube say it. I figured I'd say it too. This has been the Herfador with Ray True Life and my guest Keya McClain, the poet. I thank each and every one of you for spending some time with us this evening. Be looking out for the next one, and y'all have a great night. Again, Keya, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ray, for having me. This was so much fun. I appreciate you. I'm ready for my next invite.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do it again.
Okay, y'all have a good evening.
All right, have a good night.